my Jesus someday. I've got my mind made up and I won't turn back, 'cause I want to see my Jesus someday. Goodbye world, I stand no longer with you. Goodbye pleasures of sin, I stand no longer with you. I made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. I made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. I've got my mind made up and I won't turn back, 'cause I want to see my Jesus someday. I've got my mind made up and I won't turn back, 'cause I want to see my Jesus someday. I want you to make your mind and never turn back, 'cause I want you to see your Jesus someday. Hello, it's Tinashe here once again, and I'm so happy to be here today. A few events have happened for the past 7 days, I think, that have made me to just make up my mind and be like, Tina, you can do it, and I know that I can do it. Last week on Friday, I had an accident. It was my first time to have an accident ever. Someone hit me, and I was really shocked, and it really made me realize that really anytime my time can be up. I wasn't expecting it. I was just driving along at 70, enjoying myself, praising God, driving. Then all of a sudden, boom, someone just hits me. And I was like, God, anytime really, I am ready. Like anytime, you can take me. But when I was saying that, I thought that, if really I am to die today, I would really have one regret. And if I am to go and be accountable for this particular thing and miss heaven, I would be so disappointed in myself. That's why I am here today. And then I have a brother of mine on Facebook who has been, who has been campaigning for domestic violence against women, and he has really encouraged me. I was like, Tina, look at this guy. I mean, he's not even a woman, but he is campaigning against domestic violence against women. Probably in his family he has gone through it, but the passion and the heart that he has for violence against women, I was like, why can't you do the same thing? And not just that, but beginning of this week, my sister, like very close sister, she's been going through an abusive relationship, and she's been in and out, and I feel for her. And then I have another friend who is very dear to me, and I was just talking to her, and we were talking about her relationship, whatever she's going through, and it's heading toward abuse, if not already abuse. And then I was talking to my pastor, I think it was on Sunday, and she was talking about that in her street there were like 8 police cars, and the police, I think they started going from door to door, and they were asking people, if they had heard anything it had to do with domestic violence. Yesterday on the news there was news about a woman who had her face slashed, her husband slashed her face. Domestic violence. I mean, domestic violence is everywhere. Wherever I turn, left, right, I see domestic violence everywhere. And I'm like, God, what can I do to help? Like, I really want to do something. If I could help all the women in the world, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would be everywhere in the whole world, but unfortunately, I'm not God. But one thing that I know, that God has put me, He has kept me alive for this purpose, to encourage women who are being abused, who are in abusive relationships. I am here, and I know that is why I am alive today, is to encourage them that if you see that there are signs in your relationship that things are not right, you need to come out of it. It's only you yourself who can help yourself. Other people, yes, they will help you after you cry out for help. If you do not cry out for help to no one, no one can help you. So I am here today to encourage all my beautiful sisters. I've got a young sister who is still back home in Zimbabwe, who I dearly love, and I thank God that she's a strong woman. But I also want to speak to her today. I want to speak to my young sisters who are here in Australia. I want to speak to my cousins. I want to speak to all the young women who are out there who are in relationship, like abusive relationships, that you do not need to be in that relationship. It's okay to walk out. It's okay to ask for help before your life is taken away, when you could have done something to help yourself. So I'm here to say, yes, ladies, let's make up our minds. I'll help you today to make up your mind. I will be that encouragement. I'm just saying to you today, take my hand, lean on me, don't look back, you shall overcome. All things are possible. Lean on me, don't look back, you shall overcome. All things are possible. I was never this happy woman that you see today. I was never the ever smiling woman that you see today. I am so surprised that even people tell me that I could not smile. Even to a joke, I could not even laugh. And I remember my husband, he said the first time he started to talk to me, he said he would greet me and I would not even respond back. When I look at myself, I'm like, Tina, you're a girl with manners. How is it possible that someone can greet you and you don't even respond? But that's what happens when you are in an abusive relationship and you just close up. You become someone that you don't even realize yourself that you become. So today I want to be that Esther. In the book of Esther, chapter 4, from verse 1 to verse 16, Mordecai, who adopted Esther, here he hears news that the Jews were about to be persecuted, to be killed, and all these things were about to happen to the Jews. And Mordecai sends people to tell Esther, who had become a queen, that can you go before the king and beg for mercy and plead for the Jews that they don't have to be killed because they are just about to be killed. And Esther, because of her position, and in that time, you were not allowed to go and approach the king if you were not called to go and see him. And so for Esther, she was scared. She was like, I haven't been yet called to go and see the king. Even though I am a queen, if I am to go and speak on behalf of the people, I myself as well will be killed. But here, the response of Mordecai to Esther when she says she can't do it. Mordecai says, do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. If you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance of the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to royal position for such a time as this. In the position that I am today, I know that I'm in this position for such a time as this, and I am in the middle of doing a project. Excuse me. And until this project is finished, that's when I'll be able to explain about in detail every single thing that I went through in my abusive relationship and how I overcame to even forgive and to even move on and to be the joyful person that I am. It's a big project. I mean, there's so much to say, as you can imagine. because I was in this relationship for 3 years. But I thought to myself, if anything is to happen to me, God forbid, before this project comes to pass, I will really regret this. So I thought I'll just do a little bit of something to just start talking now. So for those who are in abusive relationships, or your sister, your cousin, your girlfriend, who you know needs to hear this, you need to pass on this message and tell them that, yes, they need to make up their mind and leave this abusive relationship, because it is not worth it. It's so sad that people, most women, end up even marrying these abusive, who were even boyfriends, they become their husbands, they even go ahead to even marry them and to even have children, and the abuse does not end. Once it starts, it never ends. So I want, to encourage young women, those who still have the boyfriends who are still doing, bad things to them, to stop now, cut off the relationship now, just cut it off, just get out. You've got the strength within you to say no. You've got the strength within you to walk away. It doesn't matter whatever, you've been promised or something that you're waiting for. It, be it money, be it car, be it, clothes, be it visas, be it houses, whatever, he has promised you or he's already given you, he has helped you. It doesn't matter. Him helping you to accomplish something doesn't give him the right to abuse you. So I am here to encourage you, walk away. There is so much more in life. What you think right now you need, God is able to give you that in abundance, and even more than you could expect. But all you need to do is to take that step of faith. Even as I am your Esther today to encourage you, you are also going to be the Esther in your life. Because when Mordecai told Esther that, you have come for this position for such a time as this, and Esther realized, yes, she needs to do this. She said in verse 15, go, Esther sent this reply to Mordecai, go gather together all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my maids will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. Yes, even you today, just have that step of faith. Have that faith of a mustard seed. That, okay, already in the relationship you are dead, really. It's just a matter of time that probably you just physically die, But already you are in a relationship where you are dead, spiritually, mentally. You are already dead. Like, what more do you have to give? Probably you're saying to yourself, I have nothing to give. Whatever happens to me happens, but I don't want you to stay and say whatever happens to me happens to me. Take that step of faith and get out of the relationship. I can assure you that step of faith is all that God needs from you. Once you do that step, everything else, he will help you, he will guide you, he will do what he has to do. Because Esther got the courage. She went before the king. And even when the king saw her, she found favor. He was even pleased with her. Think, there's someone who was scared to go to talk to the king because she has not been called. As soon as she went forth, that step of faith, as soon as the king saw her, he was pleased to see her. So for you, you just need to take that step of faith and come out of this relationship. And some may say to me, well, he loves me, he's asking, me to forgive him. He's sorry, he was drunk, he was upset, and I trust him and I believe him. But has he stopped? So I have a few things that I've been, writing down that, I think would encourage you. Or if you hear some of these points that I'm going to speak out, and if you can relate to these points and think, oh, yes, you are really speaking to me, it means that you're in an abusive relationship and you don't need it. You absolutely do not need it. So, if I may start by asking, what is stopping you from leaving this man, this boyfriend, this partner? Is it the fear of the unknown? Face that fear. Face that fear. face that fear. I know you are scared, but just face it. You just need to take that step of faith. I want to encourage you to just do it. God has given you today to hear this. God has given you an opportunity to see this day today. Why can't you just seize this moment? I know it is not easy. Some relationships are so bad that it's not just a matter of just saying, okay, I don't want you, that's it. I know some of us, we are already like physically, spiritually, emotionally connected, and there are so many things that we have done together that it's not just easy to just come out of it. But I want to tell you, make a plan and live today. Even tomorrow, even on the weekend, even next week. But what I want to ask you is not to prolong staying in this relationship. I stayed in this relationship for 3 years, but I can tell you those 3 years were like 30 years, because each day there was something. Each day there was something. So imagine 365 days by 3 years, and every single day something is happening to me. I grew up so quick. I was so young. I was 19. But I grew up, so quickly, because I had to learn to do so many things that were beyond my age. But I give glory to God that I am alive. Of course, He kept me for me to be an encouragement to you. So I want to raise a few points and ask yourself, are you also in these situations? If you are in these situations, you are in an abusive relationship. And if it's just starting, know that you are heading for even worse than what you think you're going through now. And the only solution, the only way that you can help yourself is to just come out of it. Just leave him. He's not worth it. He's not worth your life. He's not worth your joy. He's not worth for you to give away all the good plans that God has for you in your life. For me, all these points that I will speak about today, I'm not talking of something that I've heard on TV, on YouTube, or something that I've read in a book. All these things that I'm going to talk about, the few points that probably you can relate to, I have been through all of them. So see if you can, say to yourself, oh, I'm going through the same thing. And if you are, honey, probably you're in an abusive relationship and you need to leave this guy. For me, the first thing that happened before anything else was a smack. If only that day I had just walked away and said, that's it, probably I wouldn't have gone through the rest of the things that I went through. And for you, probably it's the same thing. Have you been smacked? Have you been beaten? Have you been punched? It only takes just one of those few things to happen, and you just need to walk away. Secondly, are you always being accused of cheating even though you're not even cheating, even though you are as innocent as a bird? Sometimes probably this is your first boyfriend and he's accusing you of cheating. One thing that I know is that people who are abusive, who accuse their women of cheating, they are the ones who are actually cheating on you, or he has cheated on you. That's why he feels insecure. That's why he's jealousy, and that's why he can't control himself, because he feels like if he can do it, obviously, or probably you can do it yourself. So if someone is accusing you of cheating, probably he himself has cheated or he is cheating on you. 3, are you always being forced to stay by his side when he goes outing? Be it, where he wants to go out with his friends, even to visit his own family, or even going clubbing or going for holidays, for trips. Does he always want you to be there, even though sometimes you don't want to go? Sometimes you need to work, you've got assignments, you've got things to do, you've got your own life to do, but he always wants you to be by his side. If he's always forcing you to be by his side always, it's probably not the right relationship for you. Number 4, does he always say nasty things or bad things to you and tell you that it's a practical joke? I don't know how many times I was abused and told that, oh, I was just doing a practical joke on her, or I become so anxious, or I start, I get scared, and he tells people that, oh, it was just a practical joke. How do you do a practical joke at someone's expense? Why would someone's misery bring you joy and you say it's a practical joke? There is no, if it's only funny to you and it's not funny to the person, why do you need to continue doing these practical jokes at someone's expense? Does he ring you so many times a day and expect you to pick up the phone when he rings you? I remember when I was working for this company and my phone used to ring all the time. And it's so funny that the people I worked with, at one time they told me that even when they are sleeping at home, Shakira's Hips Don't Lie used to ring in their heads when they are sleeping at night. And they were asking me, how do you even, survive? How are you still sane when this phone rings so much? Look, if I am busy, if I said I'm going to work, if I said I am going to uni to do my assignment, if I said I'm going out with my friends, if I said I'm going to church, if I said I'm going to be with my family, I am going there for a particular reason and a purpose. So why not give me that time to just enjoy their company? When I need your company, I will call you, I will be with you. But for this time, I want to be with my friends. And if you are in a relationship where you're rang 5,000 times a day and you're expected to pick up the phone, that is not a healthy relationship and it's not for you. Number 6, are you finding yourself now that you can't even eat anymore? You've just lost your appetite. You don't have a peace of mind, that even the smile, you used to be someone who smiles, someone full of passion, someone full of joy, someone who just wanted to do everything, but now you can't even do that because you're restricted. Now you're always stressed and you're just uneasy. Yes, those are signs that you're in an abusive relationship. Are you now constantly sick? Are you now constantly having migraines, anxiety, depression? Are you now on antidepressants? If you have those signs, of course you're already in an abusive relationship. You're being abused and you need to come out of it. Number 8, are you now in a situation where your close family and friends are distant from you because he talks negatively about the people around you? And even if you have issues with your friends, your families, or people who are around you, does he make the issue bigger for you so that you can't even be in contact or have connection with your family and friends? Unfortunately, I have to say this, it is one of the signs of abusive men to just take you away from the people who are close to you so that you don't have any connection with those people. They isolate you. If you already feel like you're being isolated from the people you love and people who are around you, honey, you are in an abusive relationship and you need to leave it right now before it gets worse. 9, does he stand too close to you when you're on the phone or when you're on your iPad, on your computer, on your laptop, you're doing things and he wants to know what you're doing, what are you saying, who are you talking to? Why? I need my space. Everyone needs their space. If he's on the phone, are you there listening? What is he talking about? Why don't you give me space? You also need your space. You need to be free like a bird. You need to be free. 10, does he force you to have sex with him? Or is he forcing you to have sex with you? It took me years, actually, I think so many years, even after the relationship, to say, probably I was sometimes, or I was raped. It's a word that even until today, it's a big word for me, like rape. I feel like it's the worst word I could think of. But yes, forcing someone to have sex with you is rape. You're being raped if someone is forcing you. I remember one time, he forced himself onto me and is like, after he had done whatever he had done, he said, yes, you can ring the police and tell them that I've raped you. He literally said that. He knows he's raping you. He knows it's a crime. So if they're forcing you to have sex with them, it is rape. You're being raped and you don't need that. 11. Does he just show up unnecessarily at events where you are? Be it you've said you're going to church or at your friend's place, or you just want to be somewhere and then he just shows up, or even at your house, you've told him you're doing something and you just want to be by yourself, but he will just show up at midnight or 3 a.m. I mean, if you want your space, if you want to be somewhere else, why does he need to always show up unnecessarily? It's because he doesn't trust you. Excuse me. For us ladies, sometimes we think, oh, if he comes at midnight, at 3 a.m., oh, it means that he just can't get over me. He loves me so much. Excuse me, that is not love. When it's at night, I want to have my beauty sleep. I want to have a rest. You coming and knocking, it just shows how insecure you are about yourself. It's not love, ladies. That is abuse. 12. Does he complain that you spend too much time with your friends, you spend too much time with your family, that you spend too much time at church, that you spend too much time at the groups that you do, whatever you do, be it at the gym, be it you love, swimming, that you're spending too much time and you don't spend time with me? Excuse me, I also need my space, like you also need your own space. We all need to have things that we love to do by ourselves. I mean, I love cleaning. People who know me, I love cleaning. I don't have OCD. I love cleaning. I love ironing. Literally, I can iron for 10 hours straight up. I just love it. It just brings peace that I cannot even explain to anyone. I just have this peace. Even it surpasses my understanding. I just love ironing. I just iron. I just feel peaceful. Why can't I spend 10 hours doing ironing and not answer my phone? Why can't I do that? Why can't I play golf and do whatever I do? Why can't I do the things that I love and not be asked why I'm spending too much time at doing that? Probably you're in an abusive relationship. Interesting, but this is actually true. 13. Does he accuse you of spending too much time with his relatives and remind you that it is because of him that you even know his relatives, or it's because of him that you even know these people that you're now close to? Honestly, God brings relationships in our path for a purpose and a reason. Everyone who I've been in contact with, there's a purpose and a reason why I am with them. Why would you question why I'm close to your relatives or your friends? Of course, we've got something in common. We've got similarities. We've got things that we can understand one another with. But because you're scared that I will tell them what you're doing to me, or because you're scared I will tell them of who exactly you are, you threaten me that, oh, don't speak to them because I'm the one who brought you closer to that. That is also isolation. Abusive people will isolate you from all the people that you are connected with, the people you enjoy talking to, because they they're scared that you will tell them of exactly who the kind of animal or the person they are. 14. Has he come and confessed to your family, friends, church that he would not do it again, but the very minute you leave those people, he does exactly the same thing? One thing I know, that a leopard does not change his spot or his stripes. So darling, honey, babe, sister, cousin, sweetie, you need to wake up. I remember one time we were having a church service and the church was packed. He came, and that was the first time ever he admitted to anyone that he was being abusive to me. He came and he confessed in front of the whole church and said, I'm sorry that I've been beating this woman, I've been abusing this woman. From today onwards, if ever I touch alcohol, if ever I touch this woman, chop my hands off. May God do something to me. Yes, they are there. People who are like that. Liars. People who come and confess. People who come and say things that even you yourself, even the people around me, they were even crying. They're like, oh, Tina, he loves you so much. Look at what he has done. A lie. There are people who go out of the way to just make you come back to them. And they will not change. And I'm sure you've even seen tears. Yes, literally crying, begging you for forgiveness. I'm sorry, I was upset. I'm sorry, it's demons. I'm sorry, even my father. People will give every excuse under the sun. One thing I know is that you can't help them solve their issues. No matter how much you fast and pray for your boyfriend or your partner to change, if he himself has not accepted that he's an abusive person, you can't help that person. You can't do nothing to help him. It is up to him to help himself. 15. Has he humiliated you or ashamed you in front of people, or even stripped you naked, that even you yourself, you even lose in touch of the person that you are? Some people will do things that you can never imagine. I remember one time I was ashamed again in front of the whole church. I don't know how many trips he did to come at a barbecue that we were doing as a church and dump my things on the side of the road, like in the grass there, my undies, everything. He ashamed me. Honestly, that day I cried to God that God just open a hole. I was so ashamed. I was humiliated. I felt that I had become nothing. Last but not least on my list, is he constantly reminding you of things he has done for you or helped you with, that if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't even be alive or happy or where you are today? When you help someone, it's not that you want a favor or you want something from them. If you're helping someone from the bottom of your heart, why do you need to constantly remind them that it's because of me that I did this, it's because of me that I did this, it's because of me that your family are even eating, it's because of me that you are even in this country, it's because of me, because of this? If you help me with all your heart, why do you need to constantly remind me every day? And why are you using that as an excuse to abuse me? There might be many other signs or many other things that happen, not just the few points that I've pointed out. But one thing I know, that this is all abuse and you don't need it. And with so many people, they say, oh, it is so easy to come out of an abuse.